welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. My name's Dustin, and I wanted to take a minute and give you some advice for your upcoming fantasy baseball season. First thing, know your league settings. You'd be surprised how many people don't know the way their own leagues are set up. Main thing you need to know is the innings requirements for your pitchers. This is going to really affect your strategy for how you pitch your pitchers from week to week. Another thing, don't panic on proven players. When I say proven players, I mean players that have had 3+ good seasons in a row. Each year there's about 4 or 5 guys that'll get off to a slow start, but more than likely they're going to turn it around. That being said, if you can get one of those guys cheap while they're underperforming, they're going to turn around and help your team when it counts the most. So send out a few feeler trades and see if that person's panicking. Don't be afraid to take gamble on young players. Every year there's a few guys that break out and really have a great fantasy season. And don't be afraid to drop players like Randy Johnson, Torrey Hunter, or Gary Sheffield to pick these players up. Their best years are behind them and they don't give you any trade value. Another thing is take advantage of the tools your website provides. My favorite one is the watch list. If you go to the players available, there'll be a little tab next to them that says add to your watch list. And this will compile a list of all the players that you're keeping an eye on. So each night when the games are going on, you can go on there and see how your players are doing. And this keeps you from having to sort through 15 different box scores. Now, that being said, moving on to closers, obviously a good closer is going to help your team, but a bad closer is a virus. I'm not saying you need to drop them, but don't always have all your closers in your lineup. Keep your bad ones on your bench until you have a high ERA or the team you're playing has a high ERA, and then you can throw them in and maybe get a save or two out of them. Last thing I want to talk about is always know who you're going to drop. Let's say you're watching a game and a young pitcher is in the 7th inning and he's throwing a perfect game. You go to pick him up in your league, he's available, and then you take 5 minutes to figure out who you're going to drop to pick him up, and then you click add, someone else already got him. There's nothing else that's more frustrating than that. Don't let it happen. Always know who's the lowest guy on your totem pole. That season. First thing is you have to utilize your DL slot. Almost every single fantasy league gives you at least 1 or 2. Essentially how it works is if someone goes on the disabled list in Major League Baseball and they're on your team, you put that guy in your DL slot, submit changes, and that'll give you a free roster spot. And you can use that roster spot to hit the waiver wire, maybe take a gamble on a young player, and who knows, he might work out and be on your team for the rest of the year. Another thing you need to do